Hello there, crazy people. This is a little bit of a weird video. Not weird, but it's a little bit of a different video. I'm not going to react to the whole video because I was watching this while I was gaming. So I wasn't really paying attention. I was just, background noise. And I do like Daily Tech does make some good videos, especially if you're into the whole Apple thing. Here there is a segment. I watched some parts of this segment. Should American use TikTok? And the more I was listening to it, I was like, what's going... This is the copium of a delusional Apple fanboy. Great channel with great content. A little bit blinded by the fanboyism. So why do I highlight this? My point is, don't be a fanboy or fangirl. If you are a hardcore fan, you will accept a lot of things you should not accept for the company that you're a fanboy or fangirl of. And you will defend said company when you should not. AKA, you are hurting the thing you love. You are making sure that they get away with stuff they should not get away with. You are making excuses for them when they're doing bad things. That is bad for the thing you like. I'm not doing this to point fingers and yell and scream at him. I'm doing it so hopefully some of you people out there realize that maybe I should be critical even if I like and love a thing. Let's hear what he's saying.
Let's talk about TikTok a little bit. I get this all the time. Like, Chris, you make videos. Why aren't you on TikTok? Because we're way past the phase where TikTok was just for like younger generations, right? Everybody's getting on TikTok. Not everyone. It is still kind of for the low attention span group of people in the world. Maybe not only young people, but also older people that just... I call it TikTok for me is it's a poop app. It's a poop entertainment. What do I mean by that? When do you watch TikTok? Most people watch TikTok when you're taking a shit, waiting at the doctor's office, or when you have 5-10 minutes to kill. Most people don't watch TikTok to learn, expand their horizons. They do it to get entertained, to get a laugh, to take a shit. It's junk food content. Junk food content for me is things that are really, it kicks the endorphins up in your brain, but it's not, really expanding your horizon and stuff like that. Are there TikToks and YouTube Shorts that do that? Of course there's. But mostly people watch TikTok just to waste time. It's really gone mainstream. And it's like, well, shouldn't you be on all the platforms? And I always tell people, I just don't really like TikTok as an app or a...
So you don't like TikTok as an app, and you're going to that, but should you not be on all platforms if you're a content creator? No. Especially if you're starting out. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, but also don't spread yourself too thin, because then you look like you're desperate. You have one main platform, and then you may have one or two separate. So most people have a YouTube or TikTok or Odyssey and stuff like that. Then they have Twitter and Instagram. Or their main stuff is Instagram, or they are live streaming on Twitch and stuff like that. And they have a YouTube for their highlights and stuff like that. You have a main platform, and then you have like one or two supporting platforms.
Company. It's not that I'm against, vertical videos that are shorter, although that has wreaked havoc as YouTube has.
So he is against it again.
Introduced shorts and are trying to make that play nice with the algorithm, right? The traditional long form algorithm.
So is he? This sounds a little bit like he's a little bit why are they, because YouTube are pushing shorts a bit more than traditional form content, and this sounds like he's a little bit bitter over that.
But this article's out and it's talking about TikTok has confirmed that some China-based employees can access U.S. user data.
Which is really bad. But here's the thing. You should be angry if any or third-party person can do that. If Americans can look at European data, we should be angry. If European people can look at American data, we should be angry. Why is this a big problem? Well, China is not, it's not a good company. It's not a good country. The Chinese government do a lot of fucking crazy shit and inhuman shit to their population. I hate not the population. I hate the politics of China. I love the people there. The Chinese government is bad people, okay? The Chinese people are good people. They are just under the thumb of a tyranny, basically. But let's be honest here. We should not be happy that any governments or any third-party people have our data. So him being like, saying that that's one of the reasons why he don't do it is a little bit hypocritical when he's using Apple. That takes a shit ton of data. He's on Google products, YouTube, that knows when you're going to poop the next time and how big of a chance there is that your kidney will be stolen while you're sleeping, or how many times you masturbate a day.
And here's this tweet where somebody's like, it's strategically epic that the US government has allowed a Chinese app to become the dominant platform of its young generations. China doesn't allow the reverse. They block Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google, etc. And in terms of reciprocity, the US is getting owned here.
So, this is an argument that a lot of a lot of Linux people also make, is that if they don't allow us, why should we allow them? He's talking about censorship here. So if we look away or a little bit like, because Chinese are censoring us, we should censor them. That's not how it goes. It's like saying, oh, if it's okay for this guy to steal, it's okay for me to steal. If you want a better world, you don't do what you don't want other people to do. So if you don't like other people to censor you, you don't censor other people. If you don't want other people to steal your food, you don't steal other people's food. If you don't want other people to take a shit in your living room, you don't take a shit in other people's living room. So that tweet is, again, highly hypocritical. Oh, look, they do bad things, so we have to do bad things also. Is TikTok being dominant and taking over the young people's mindset? Yeah. Is it a good thing? No. I get it. If you want to be better than the Chinese government, you cannot do the same things as the Chinese government. You have to be better than them. So what that means is that Google and other people just have to make better products.
So the US government has been concerned for a while about what can China access about all of its citizens. Is TikTok spyware? And even if it's not, look at all the data that they have about the population.
So just from what he said up to now, being concerned about all the data have and should it be regarded as spyware and stuff, that goes for Google, Microsoft, Apple, IBM, Red Hat, any big company that have any information about people. You know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, I think the saying is. Or the means justify the end. And I'm one of the people that believe that the means don't justify the end. If you have an end goal and you say, well, to reach that end goal, I have to do really, really atrocious and bad things to reach that goal, then you should not do it. You should not do things because those things that are outrageous and bad, because then you are exactly the kind of people that you're fighting against.
This can be used for manipulation, if nothing else.
Google do that, Microsoft do that, Facebook do this, Apple do this. Every company do this in the Western world.
So in the recent past, TikTok has said, no, don't be worried. You know, all the US information is kept here. It's local on this continent. And
just like Apple, Google, Microsoft, any company is saying about those things.
You know, the Chinese side of the TikTok empire really doesn't have anything to do with this. You know, we're just running this service for you. And then this comes out and TikTok is now promising to step up security and privacy and stuff. It's like,
so the same things is being said by Google employees, by Apple employees, or Apple management. Any company that deal with data say these things. It's just how much do we actually trust them?
Like, you can't even trust American companies to protect user privacy, really,
nope.
Right? Think about Google, Meta, etc.
Apple is one of the worst ones out there.
Amazon. Apple's out here and they're at least trying to
No. So here's the thing. Apple is not trying to make your data more secure or more personal. I keep saying this to the Linux fanboys to say that Android is Linux. I'm like, well, most phone manufacturers that use Android are not encrypting text messages by default, but iOS is. But here's the thing, we can do it, we just have, or we, when I say we, I mean the Android developer, or not developers, mobile phone companies can do it, they just have to take it on. But what they do instead is they use other messaging services. People use other messaging services. And most people don't even fucking use iMessage or stuff like that. We use all kind of different messaging services. Apple is not doing this because they care about your privacy. Apple is doing it because they want your data. So Apple care about your privacy because they care about that they're the only one have access to your privacy. They do it so they can sell you better ads, they can sell you better products, they can take better telemetry, but no one else should be allowed to do it. That's what Apple wants. If you look at what Apple is doing and how they're doing it, it's like Apple care about your data because they're the only one that wants to have access to it. Because it gives them a competitive advantage. Apple want it all for themselves. That's the big difference here. And a lot of people eat that copium and say, oh, that means that they must have our best interests at heart. No. It's because they want to be the monopoly on your data.
make things more private. But it's so weird. We're living in this crazy globalized world. Everything is so interdependent. And it's like, first of all, can you imagine if the US was like, that's it for TikTok? Like, shut it down. And in fact, the government did ask Apple and Google to delist TikTok from their app stores, which obviously hasn't happened.
And that's good. Again, we should not do the same thing as our enemies, because then we become our enemies. Or if you don't think it's okay for some people to do something, you should not be doing it yourself in the name of good, because they are saying the exact same thing. The Chinese government are censoring us because they think it's better for them or their people. They are saying the same thing as we are saying. Oh, we are doing it because we're doing it for good. They are doing it for the exact same fucking reasons. They think they are doing good.
Imagine the uproar, the outcry, even if it was demonstrably true that TikTok, which I have no idea because I'm not in the government, that TikTok was bad for America. Let's just say you could prove that, right?
So here's the thing, you can actually prove there have been studies that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram are hurting the populations in the world. They are hurting the mental state of young adults and young people in America and in Europe. There are data and facts about how dangerous social media is for the population. Not only just young people, also older people. If TikTok was bad for people, and that's a reason to ban it, YouTube should not be around, Facebook should not be around, Instagram and Twitter should not be around. But he's looking at it with the classes saying that, well, they are the enemy, they are China. We are not, so therefore it's okay for us to have it, but not for them. Again, it's okay for us to do it, but it's not okay for them to do it, because we are the good guys, they're the bad guys, even if you're doing the exact same fucking thing.
Imagine the outcry if you took that away from people. It's like giving people ice cream and then taking it away. People love TikTok. So, I'm just saying here, like, people ask me, why aren't you on TikTok? I'm not on TikTok for a number of reasons.
So again, I think he dopey face. He is in that mentality that copiumed up to his fucking eyeball with Apple and the Western lifestyle.
But this doesn't make it any better, right? I try to protect the privacy as much as possible, which is...
Then don't be on YouTube, don't have Apple products, don't have Microsoft products, don't have any big company products. I say the same to Linux people. If you are like bitching and moaning about privacy and you're sitting on your fucking Android devices with fucking YouTube running in the background and on all social media is known to man, you have no privacy. It don't matter what operating system you're running. It's like taking 1% away of the equation.
Basically impossible in today's world.
True.
Increasingly, it seems like that's something that would be considered a luxury. So if you have a certain amount of wealth or status, maybe you can be more private.
No, I don't even believe that. They can hire security people. They can pay people to take information away from the internet, but they may be only 5-10% more private than we are.
Than somebody who doesn't. But I guess the other side of the equation is, how many people even care in the US? What happens to their data? I mean, we've been fine over here as a populace with people mining our data and selling our data and our data getting hacked for years, for decades now, right?
So again, by his own definition, if this is what he believes, he should have no problem with TikTok. Other than it's because it's a Chinese-based company.
It just seems to be the norm. And it's kind of unfortunate. It's like the frog boiling in the pot there. The temperature's been turned up so slowly over the years that we're just boiling and nobody cares. No one's going to leap out of the pot because it's just normal now. That's the normal temperature. Mm-hmm. I'd actually really like to know what everybody in the audience thinks about the whole
this video
TikTok thing. Do you care? Do you not? Do you use TikTok or not? And why? Let me know.
It goes into another segment here, but you get the idea here. I find this is almost as bad as listening to Linux people talk about why Linux is great. Because they are pointing fingers at Microsoft and Apple for doing stuff, and then Linux-based companies are doing a lot of the same fucking shit. But oh, it's open source, so it's okay. Now we see it coming from a Apple fanboy, where he's like, it's not okay for them to do these things that they're doing, while the thing that he's a massive fan of are doing a lot of the same fucking things, and he supports it. This is why and fanboyism or fangirlism is a really, really negative thing. Because you can't see, or you are blinded towards what really is going on with this thing that you're a fanboy of. So they find all kind of excuses for why the thing that they like and are a fanboy of is okay, while they're really quick at pointing fingers at everything else. And if you turn it around and you say that, okay, let's pretend Apple was a Chinese company, which, let's be honest here, a lot of the fucking products that you get from Apple is coming from Chinese companies. It's Chinese made, slave labor made, child labor made. Even like you can't have a phone without you have fucking, or any electronic device without you having some components in there that's made by kids under harsh conditions. So it's highly hypocritical for him to sit like that. It's highly hypocritical for most of us people to actually look at the world like that. Because what we support, what we use, are doing most of the things that we are against. But because we are pro-American, pro-Denmark, pro-whatever it is, pro-Apple, pro-Microsoft, we tend to be like a little bit like, if Apple do it, it's okay, but if other people do it, it's not okay. It has to go both ways. Again, this is why I bitch so much about Linux. Because if it's not okay for Microsoft to do it, it should not be okay for Linux to do it. If it's not okay for Apple fanboys to do it, it should not be okay for Linux fanboys to be like that. See you all later. Bye bye.